you guys start out with a franchise record for field goal percentage, actually, for the game, and then start out hot on defense. Is this one of the most complete games you guys have played this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we learned from our mistakes last game against these guys, and they kind of threw a funky defense out there in the fourth quarter last game and caught us off guard. And tonight we knew what they were going to do. They was doubling on the catch, and we're moving the basketball quick. Guys were knocking down shots, and we got confidence early on from our defense, and offensively, you know, if we move the ball, we find an open shot. We have some good progress. So, good game.
Coach Brooks said if you wanted that streak to continue, you should have missed those 2 shots. What do you have to say about that?
Man, I'm glad that's over with. I'm glad it's over with, man. I'd much rather take the win. That's my type of game. Just, just playing how the game is played. If they double and make the pass, just play easy. I wasn't trying to force anything. That streak was good while it lasted, but that was the last of my concern. So I'm glad we won.
Kevin, why is it so important to you to play the right way, like you tried to do so much?
I mean, that's how you win games, just playing the right way on both ends. And it was easy for me to try to force it and keep the streak alive, but we needed this win because they beat us last time. They got them going, got their season going. So we just wanted to come in here and just try to, get better from when we played them last and get the W. So, everybody played great tonight.
When you were passing that ball,
streak's over, but what about the winning streak for the team? This has got to be very exciting.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that later, but that's the most important streak, and glad we got the W. We just got to continue to play the right way on both ends of the floor, help each other out on both ends. We'll be fine no matter what. We just, we're trying to build habits here and try to, keep getting better every single day. So that's how we're going to get better. We play the right way. Shots not going to fall sometimes. Teams might have a crazy offensive game, and our defense, they may make shots over our tough defense, but we got to stick with it, and I think that's what we're doing now.
When you were passing that ball to Serge, did you give him some of that hot streak?
No, he's hot on his own. He's been shooting that well for the last month, and I think he got snubbed from the All-Star game too. So, he's been playing well, and he's been definitely giving us a lift on both ends of the floor with his shooting and his offensive rebounding. He's doing a great job for us.
What fueled that 13-0 run to end the first quarter and kind of put this one away in a sense?
Well, we got stops on defense. They played a tough lineup with Paul Pierce and those guys. Paul Pierce playing a 4, and he was doing a good job of screening and popping out early. So we made an adjustment, and we was able to close up the paint, contest those shots, and get out and get some easy points.
Why were you so dominant on the boards as a team, 41-17?
Well, we got to make them miss. We didn't hope they miss. We made them miss. And, Serge's great perk was unbelievable. He started off the game for us with a great intensity on both ends and led us to this victory. And, he rebounded well, Serge did, and everybody just came in and chipped in.
How much have you enjoyed playing against Kevin Garnett over the years?
He's a fierce competitor. He's one of those guys that you hate playing against, but you'll love to have him on your team. And, he just brings that fire. He's just a Hall of Famer, a first-class guy that goes to work and plays with so much aggression, passion, and intensity. You got to love a guy like that. But like I said, I hate playing against him, but he's a legend, somebody I looked up to as a kid, and I still do now. But he makes you pick it up a level once you're playing against him. So, we're lucky to be playing against a guy like that.
Kevin, your streak, those don't come along too often. I'm sure you've enjoyed it on some level. I know you kind of downplayed it. Was there any point where you would have liked to just kind of extend it just for the fun of just kind of riding this thing?
To be honest, I didn't care at all. Like I said, I just played the game, just on the field, just on instincts. And tonight, they made sure I didn't get that. I wasn't playing one-on-one. I was, 2 guys were coming over. And they did a great job, fronting. And once I catch it doubling, so I had to make the pass, and my teammates kind of carried the whole game, on offense and made shots. And then it opened up for me just a little bit. So, I'm just every game, I'm just trying to, fill the game out and play how it is, and not worry about, points or rebounds, assists, just play off instincts.
When you say you're glad it's over, is that so you're tired of hearing about it, or so more people can just focus on what you guys are doing as a team? What is it?
I mean, I hate taking the credit when our whole team is going out there and playing well. It was cool, don't get me wrong. It's something not to be taken for granted. But, you know, I'd rather our team get the credit than just myself because, you know, it's not just me going out there and it's, you know, contributing to that. You know, Reggie making great passes, Perk setting great screens, Serge, you know, opening up for me with his shooting and his rebounding and his shot blocking. So, you know, I'd rather the team get the credit, you know, because, you know, I kind of like standing under the radar, I guess.